Hey folks, how are you? This is Mike Slo-Mo Brenner, and we're talking lap steel, and we're talking especially about lap steel using these Duesenberg hand levers, which I am admittedly a novice at, but I was working at it a bit, and I thought maybe I would make a couple videos showing my progress. Maybe it would help. I know a lot of people in the lap steel community are interested in either maybe they picked up a new Duesenberg lap steel, which these come stock. I had these kind of grafted onto this cool instrument made by Christopher Fouke of industrialguitars.com in Benton, Illinois. I had actually owned this. It's called an Indie Rail. I had owned this for a few years, and it kind of got a bit banged up, and right when I was thinking about getting in touch with Christopher Fouke, I had this idea, well, maybe I could put these Duesenberg hand levers on, and thanks to Mr. Fouke, he indeed put these on, and it turned out to be a little bit easier than we thought it was going to be. There was actually enough space between the volume and tone pot once he removed the bridge that was on there previously, and it popped right on, as far as I was concerned. And so he did an amazing job, and this instrument is super cool. It has one humbucker. It's hollow. It's all aluminum and hollow. And if you see, my nickname is Slo-Mo, and Chris made the my logo part of the sound ports. And it's a super cool guitar. It's indestructible. You could run this thing over with a bus, and he could probably mold it back in better condition. So thank you, Christopher Fouke. Definitely check out industrialguitars.com. Chris does a whole line of lap steels and upright guitars, all done in this aluminum industrial fashion, and they are super cool. Alright, so I did another video where I kind of explained some ideas that I had as far as the tunings go. This is in open D, D-A-D, F-sharp A-D from low to high, and then more in depth in the other video, but I kind of discovered that when you engage the pedals and play with them down in what I call closed position, which is definitely harkens back to my intermediate pedal steel knowledge, you actually have a Dobro tuning on your top four strings. So if you play in normal Dobro tuning GBD, GBD from low to high, you actually have access to that tuning while playing with the hand levers engaged. The Duesenbergs, my A lever, the one farthest from me, raises the second string, the A, to a B, and the B lever, closest to me, raises my F sharp to a G. And when you play them both together, and play them with your, I'm just dealing with the top four strings of the steel right now. If you play, that's the open D of D tuning, and if I engage the pedals, it moves it up 4 steps. It moves it up to the 4 chord, the G. Okay? So there's this other video, you can check that out. There's a bunch of, I kind of go through some other ideas, but in this video we're going to take a very basic solo that I kind of mocked up. The band I play in, John Train, we do a cover of a Nick Lowe song called Without Love in E major, and I kind of used that as a guinea pig song to try to learn some parts using this, and I thought maybe I would work through the solo and explain what I'm doing, and you can check it out. Maybe it'll spur some ideas of your own. So let me actually play it once, and you can pretty much suss out what chords there are. I can call them out, and then we'll maybe get some close-ups and you can see my hand movement. One thing you want to notice on all the sort of pedal steely licks, I'm keeping my B lever engaged and manipulating the A lever to get that twangy. Similar to how pedal steel players rock on and off their A pedal and keep the other part of their foot on their B pedal, and that gives that very idiomatic sound, very characteristic of the pedal steel. I mean, everyone loves that. And that's the sound of the second interval of that chord being moved up to the major third. Okay, so let me run through this Nick Lowe solo. I think that you'll be able to hear what the chord changes are. I'll talk it out as well, and then we'll get a little bit more of a close-up so you can see my hand movement. So anyway, this is Without Love. It's in E major, and then we're going to start. Most of the action takes place on the 9th fret with in closed position, and that's our E voicing, closed E voicing, 9th fret. All right. The song has a very brief intro, and then it goes through the changes. Okay. So basically, I'm playing over one verse, and then we can talk through the solo. So here it goes. It goes 1, 2, 3. That's pretty much the size of it. So maybe let me sketch out the chords before we kind of close up it. The intro, 1, 2, 3. That's that hand move where I'm letting the A lever up. Back down to the 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord closed. And then back to the 4 chord in the higher voicing. And now we're into the song. E to the A to E. Now we go to the 6th, the minor chord, C sharp. So in this case I have the B lever down, the A lever up, and I'm just playing strings 1 and 3, which make a 5th. And I'm kind of thinking in my dobro head now that the C sharp minor can be accessed, or a C sharp chord can be accessed at the 6th fret. So I'm just playing the C sharp 5th without any kind of major or minor 3rd, and I'll let a guitar player or keyboards or whatever play that minor 3rd, worry about it. So I'm going, here comes the minor. To the 5 chord to the B, same 5th, and now open E to the 4. Back again, same place. Higher voicing A, back to E. There's that C sharp minor again, and rather than go down to the 5th again, I moved up on my top string from still sort of thinking about my dobro thought is that if I go up from the E, the top string is a 5th, and I'm moving up to the 6th, which is the C sharp minor root note. Now my last little licky thing, not quite appropriate really for this song, especially if someone was singing, but the reason I did that was to sort of demonstrate that with your hands down you can play your normal set of dobro lick stuff. You don't have to worry about what the open D tuning, because with your hand levers down you're back in open G tuning, dobro tuning. So just to demonstrate that on the 1-5-1 kind of turnaround at the end, I do a little E lick. All enclosed, no twangy, glissy stuff going on. I'm just keeping both levers down. Then I go down to the 4th fret, still closed on the 5 chord. Back down to the 1, to the 4 chord, and that takes us back to the top of the verse. Okay, one more time. Just I'll run it through a little slow, and then we'll do a close up. And I won't get in the way of it with talking through it. So Let's see if I can get it right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to roll through the solo again. One thing I didn't mention that I think is important, it's a steel guitar technique called pic blocking. That's really how you get those pedal steely. That's really how you get those licks nice and crisp. It's definitely a technique that pedal steel players know quite well, is this pic blocking idea of you're blocking the string that you struck with the same finger as the next finger strikes the next string. I could go into it for hours and hours, but I think that there's lots of places on the internet and YouTube where you can pick up those skills for pic blocking. But to get those spiky, cool faux pedal steel licks like that and get them nice and crisp, you really need to acquire those pic blocking skills, where it's going to be kind of mushy. You want to be able to cut those notes off to get it to that you know. You need to be able to shut those notes down and keep them right in the groove, or it's going to be a little too much of a wash, especially if you're playing the pedals at the same time. So I recommend, I'm sure that there's many places that you can go, many resources. Great steel players put all sorts of stuff on YouTube, as you know, and to use those skills in conjunction with the hand levers, I think, is pretty key. All right, so there you go. Let's take a look at that solo. 1, 2, 3. Alright folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you found this helpful. I wanted to thank Chris Fouke again for doing such an amazing job putting these Duesenberg hand levers on my indie rail. It has turned it into a pretty fearsome instrument. So I think, with some more work, I'm going to try to integrate these pedals into my normal playing, and we'll see where it goes. I did start to sort of jam on some stuff, and this is kind of off the twangy path, but I started to think about maybe playing melodies on the top string while changing chords. So I'm just going to kind of jam. This is nothing worked out, but maybe it'll give you some ideas of your own. All right, my name is Mike Slo-Mo Brenner from Philadelphia, and thank you again for checking it out.